sword that will make war with this beast. Now there'll be no peace until this prophecy's fulfilled. And since they think I got truth.
Greetings and welcome to the Final Call News Hour. I'm your host, Arabia Munajj Muhammad. And let me tell you a little bit about the Final Call News Hour. The Final Call is the most widely circulated Black-owned and operated publication in the world. It is the communications organ of the Nation of Islam. The Final Call News Hour is produced by the Ministry of Information, which is headed by Brother Corey 2X. The Ministry of Information was born from the Millions More movement, which was launched in October 2005, in order to bring all of our people together for the common cause of ensuring our future survival. The overall mission of the Final Call News Hour is to bring an alternative source of news and commentary to our viewers. This is very much needed because although it is said that we live in a free society with freedom of the press of all of America, major media, both print and electronic, are owned by approximately 5 major corporations. This evening we are going to be discussing Final Call Volume 27, Number 29, Futures, Not Funerals. This is my guest, Alante. How are you this evening?
I am good. I'm well. Ready to do it up.
Nice to have you here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if you have your final call right now, go to page 3 of your final call, and what I'm going to discuss is youth in peril. Many challenges face Black youngsters, but violence may be most difficult. Now, this is by Herman Muhammad, assistant editor. I'm just going to read a paragraph. Chicago, a day devoted to teacher training almost turned deadly for a 15-year-old boy who was seriously wounded April 11th by a bullet when schools were closed. The youngster was an innocent victim of a turf war in a public housing development. 23 Chicago public school students have died this year, some in alterations in school parking lots or near places that should be safe havens. Others have died on city streets. Now, my question is, do you think it's safe around schools where children are, well, this 15-year-old was getting shot up at? Do you think it's safe around schools anymore?
The school system is a very protected environment, at least here in Colorado. But in Chicago, it just seems like the students there have like anger within themselves. So that makes it more of a dangerous environment and more apt to be, you know, like people just wouldn't want to be there. You wouldn't want to be in an environment where you are at risk of being shot or a part of an altercation. So, you know, it isn't safe.
Now I'm just going to read this short paragraph. Guns are accessible. Kids now know where to get guns every day. What kind of crazy, humane society do we live in today? And we call it civilized America. Now, to me, I don't think it would be safe to go to school, because what if a bully is bullying you and then you go somewhere to buy a gun from a person and then you shoot that person? So for me, I don't think it's safe to go to school sometimes. So
I think it is dangerous all around. It makes people bringing that kind of an attitude to school, you know, just spreads it all around. You bring anger to the table, you're only gonna get anger out of it. You know, you come at someone with a pugnacious attitude, then they might not just let you. They might strike back.
Treat others like you want to be treated, right?
Yeah, basically.
So another question is, where do these kids get these guns? How do they get them? Where do they get them? Where do they get the money to get these guns?
They're probably accessible, and people are always up for making money. So if you have that extra gun, you find a gun, what have you, if you come to obtain another gun, then, and you want to sell it, you would. So that's one way they get it. They probably, the other way is that their parents could just have protection, and then, you know, if the teenager is like infuriated with another student and they want to get back at them, then they could just go searching through the house and hope to find a gun, and they might.
All right. Then one more question before we move on to our next article is, do you think taking your child out of school and putting them in homeschool would be a safer way to teach your children? Because now in the school system, they're taking away gym and taking away different subjects that we need to learn. And do you think homeschool would be the safest place for a child to learn and get more education out of it?
Well, there's two sides to that. It is the safest place to be, I guess, at home, because you're with a parent who is there with you all day, every day, teaching you things from their point of view. But on the other side of it, it's kind of dangerous, because if you don't get that school environment, then you might not learn how to interact with other people. You can become a person who just doesn't know how to interact with other people, you know.
All right. Wonderful.
But wait. Before you move on, I'm sorry. I wanted to make a reference to to this part right here where it says that violence is. It basically states that violence is praised, you know, in some movies, and that is what's teaching, you know, children, and especially blacks who are susceptible to that kind of you know, that kind of thing, especially if you put it through a medium that they like already, like music, like a movie, like a game, you know. So that could cause
so
more
basically,
violence
if you put that violence in a movie or listen to it or in a video game, the child's just going to instantly inherit what they do.
No, I think it takes a while for a child to be bogged down by the messages that are being sent, but at the same time, they are more susceptible to them, but at the same time, they do know what's right and wrong. But in music, sometimes the message of killing and other things like that is just watered down, so it doesn't seem as bad. It doesn't seem as wrong as it really, truly is.
So basically you're saying the rappers are watering down what they're saying to make it sound good, but in real life it's telling the young youth that it's okay to be a gangster, it's okay to call our women hoes and bees, but they're putting it in a sweeter way, a more kinder way.
Well, on the violent aspect of that, I don't think they're trying to convey that message, but that is the message that is being conveyed, and it shows.
Okay.
Is what I was going to say.
All right. Now we're going to move on to our next article on page 5 of your final call, if you have it right now. Black youth drink less, targeted more. The Center on Alcohol Marketing and the Youth at Georgetown University found black youth ages 12 to 20 drink far less alcohol than their white counterparts, but with age they suffer more from alcohol-related diseases than whites. Alcohol-related amulets include heart disease, high blood pressure, decreased or impaired brain functions, liver and kidney damage, and kidney failure. Now, the question I want to ask you is, why do the whites drink more than the blacks?